here with the Week 5 recap. NFL Week 5 recap. I wanted to do this on the iPad, but ESPN website on there was not working for some reason. I don't know why. But just do it on the phone again like I did last week. Some solid games in here. Some comebacks in here as well. Some wild stuff. First game was the Thursday game. The 49ers beat the Rams 26-23 in overtime to move to 4-1. The Rams are 3-2. Mac Jones still playing here with Purdy hurt. 342 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. He's only sacked once. McCaffrey has 57 yards rushing on 22 carries. They only rushed the ball 33 times for 74 yards, so nothing happening there. Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 142 yards. McCaffrey, 8 for 82 and a touchdown. Jake Tonges has a touchdown as well, receiving. They get a sack from Bryce Huff, no picks. The kicker's 4 for 4, Pinheiro, with a long of 59. He's 2 of 2 on his extra points, but 4 for 4 on the field goals. So. Stafford, nice game, 389, 3 TDs, no picks. He's sacked just the once. They only run the ball 16 times for 78 yards. Williams has 65. Devontae Adams, 88 yards receiving to lead the way. Puka has 10 catches for 85 yards and a TD. Kyron Williams, the running back with 65 yards, has 2 receiving TDs and 66 yards on 8 catches. Nice little fantasy game for him. Williams and Stafford both lose fumbles. The sack is a half sack each from Young and Turner. That kicker did miss 1 field goal and an extra point. So, I don't know how long that field goal was that he missed, but that's 4 points left on the table, and they lost by 3. I'm going to have to do the top button here, I think. It's a little bit more for pain. I think I did that last week. They have a little... Hold on a second. Got some fun building up here. I have the top scroll I was using last week. London game here. Vikings beat the Browns 21-17 in London. Denver's actually playing, I believe, the Jets in London this week. Minnesota moves to 3-2. The Browns 1-4. I think the Browns blew a lead in this one. I want to say they might have been up like 17 to, I don't know, 7 maybe. Let's see real quick. No, they weren't. It was only 17-14. The Vikings scored late, though. Carson Wentz playing. McCarthy's hurt, 236, TD, no picks. Cam Akers has 1 throw for 32 yards and a touchdown. Maybe there's a trick play in there, I don't know. Mason 52 yards rushing and a TD. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 132. Addison and Oliver have the receiving TDs. Scott and Mason both lose fumbles. They get a sack from Pace Jr. and Ingram Dawkins. Their kicker misses a field goal. Dylan Gabriel for the... Oh, that's right. This is our star for the Browns. 190 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. He sacked twice. Judkins has 110 yards rushing. Number 85. I never say this guy's last name right. 6 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Fannin Jr. has the other receiving touchdown. Sacks come from Wright and 2 from Collins. Their kicker is perfect. He only had 1 field goal attempt, though, with 2 extra points. The Texans blow out the Ravens 44-10 to move to 2-3. Baltimore's 1-4. Jackson's still out for a couple of weeks, I think. This could be a long season for them. I think their defense is on a pace to be like historically bad in terms of points given up. Stroud, 244, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He sacked twice. Mills comes in and is 2 for 4. That's probably just because they were blowing him out. Chubb 61 yards rushing and a TD to lead the way. Kirk 64 yards receiving. Receiving TDs from Collins, who has 1. Hutchinson has 2 on 3 catches. And Noel has 1 as well. Edward Jr. has the sack. 2 picks from Petrie. 1 from Lassiter. Their kicker's 5 for 5 on extra points and 3 for 3 on field goals with a long of 57. Cooper Rush is playing in place of Lamar Jackson. You know, people will tell you, there are some people that say Lamar Jackson's not really that good. I think he's good. Incredible runner. He can pass the ball pretty well. But here's the thing. He goes down. Here comes the backup with 179 yards, no TDs, and 3 picks. He's sacked once. Henry has 33 yards rushing and a TD. Flowers 72 yards receiving to lead the way. They get a sack from Simpson and a sack from Van Noy. Their kickers are 1 or 2. Not that it matters. They just get. It's just a bad game. Giants lose to the Saints 26-14. Both teams are 1-4. That was the Saints' first win. Dart for the Giants, 2 TDs, 2 picks, 202 yards. He sacked once. Cam Scatbo, 59 yards rushing. Dart adds 55 yards rushing as well. Bellinger, 52 yards receiving to lead the way. Theo Johnson has the 2 receiving TDs. Oof. Slayton, Dart, and Scatbo all lose fumbles. That could be your whole game right there. They have no sacks. Their kicker doesn't have any field goal attempts. He hits his 2 extra points. Rattler, 225, a TD, and no picks. He's not sacked. Hill comes in, throws a pass for 19 yards. Miller, 41 yards rushing to lead the way. Shaheed, 114 yards receiving on 4 catches and a touchdown. They get a sack from who? Nobody had sack. It was just a team sack. Kool-Aid McKinstry. This is the guy's name. I am not kidding. His name is Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid McKinstry, and he's playing it cool. Oh, 2 picks for him. Is this guy a rookie? I gotta look this guy up real quick. He's gotta be a rookie. He's only 23. Well, I guess he could be in his 2nd year, and he is in his 2nd year. Take it back. Those were his 2 first career picks for Kool-Aid. Where's Hawaiian Punch? So the Saints get their first dub. The old Broncos beat the Eagles 21-17. They were down 17-3 going into the 4th quarter. I was like, they could be done. But they are the ones coming back this week instead of kind of having leads in the last 2. Well, not last game. They beat the Bengals. When they lost the 2 in a row to the Colts and the Chargers, they had leads going into the 4th, couldn't extend on them, and then lost ultimately at the end. Denver's 3-2. That was the Eagles' first loss. They are 4-1. Bo Nix, 242, a touchdown, no picks. He sacked twice. Dobbins, 79 yards rushing and a TD. He was a good pickup for them. Javonte Williams, I'll get to him, but he's ripping it up for the Cowboys. Broncos forward. Running back, but they picked up Dobbins, I think, pretty late in the offseason. It might have even into preseason. And he's doing well. And he's young, too. Sutton, 8 catches, 99 yards. Evan Engram, another pickup they got, he has the receiving TD. They get a lot of sacks here, 6. They get a lot of sacks. They lead the league in sacks. Singleton has 1, Benito, 2.5. McMillan, 1. Number 96, Yuba Zaricki, has 1, and then another half from Zach Allen. No picks. Their kicker is 2 for 2 with a long of 55. He's been playing a little better lots recently. Eagles, Hurts, 282 touchdowns, no picks. He's sacked 6 times. They don't rush the ball only 11 times. And they were winning 17-3. You'd think they'd be running the ball more. 11 times for 45 yards. Smith has 114 yards receiving. 8 catches. Barkley has the receiving touchdown. has a receiving touchdown, 58 yards, and Goddard has a receiving touchdown as well. The sack comes from Bond and Smith. Each have sacks. No picks. Their kickers 101. Two extra points. It's kind of a slow-paced defensive game, I guess. That's a nice win for the Broncos. Cowboys beat the Jets 37-22. This is what's going to happen. It's a London game, but the Broncos' big win over the Eagles in Philly. They will then lose to the Jets next week, rendering the win pointless. Dallas is 2-2-1. That's right. I didn't do the recap last week. They tied the Packers. Jets are 0-5. Prescott, nice game here. 237, 4 TDs, no picks. He's sacked once. Javonte Williams, 16 carries, 135 yards and TDs. He's having a great year. His rookie year with Denver was really good. Then he got hurt, I believe. Then he was still decent. His yards per average going down, but then they started doing like running back by committee. And he never got like a full shake at being a full-time back. And now he clearly seems to be. He's doing well. Flourney, 6 catches, 114 yards. Pickens has a TD. Ferguson has 2 receiving TDs. And Williams also has a receiving TD on 1 catch. They get a sack and a half from Houston, a sack from Williams, a sack from number 97. This is another name I'm just not going to say right. Kenny Clark, a half sack. Fowler Jr., a sack. Their kicker hits his 1 field goal. Extra points. Fields, 2 TDs, no picks, 283. He's sacked 5 times. Breece Hall, 113 yards rushing on 14 carries. Wilson has 6 catches, 71 yards and a TD. The receiving TD goes to Beck as well. Breece Hall loses a fumble. McGregor has the sack. Their kicker's 2-2. No extra points. Yeah, the Jets have a decent game offensively, but their team was getting lit up. Pass defense was, at least. Well, their rushing defense was too. Another bad team here. The Raiders lose 40-6 against the Colts. The Colts are 4-1. Raiders 1-4. Geno Smith has come crashing back down to earth after having a career renaissance late bloomer in Seattle. He is not doing well. 228, 0 TDs, 2 picks. He's sacked 4 times. Janty, the rookie, 67 yards rushing. This guy's career is going to get wasted. He's supposed to be really good. He's shown signs of being really good. But if they just focus on him because Geno Smith can't do anything, it's going to be a rough year. Trey Tucker, 4 for 62, receiving to lead the way. They get no sacks, no touchdowns. Their kicker's 2 for 3. Daniel Jones bounces back from a little bit of a weak game. Last week, 212, 2 TDs, no picks. Jonathan Taylor, 3 rushing TDs and 66 yards. Abdullah has a rushing TD as well. Doolin leads the way with 55 yards receiving. They get receiving touchdowns from Warren and Pittman Jr. They get sacks from Franklin Buckner, Ibukum, and Lewis. They get picks from Blackman and Latu. Their kicker has 2 extra points and no field goal attempts. Is he the punter or something? No. Were they just going for 2 a lot? I gotta look at this. I assume they were just going for 2 a bunch. That's weird. Whatever. Colts 4-1. The Panthers have a comeback win, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look. Over the Dolphins. Dolphins seem to be done. 27-24. Panthers, my home state Panthers. Not my favorite team, though. I've always been an out-of-stater fan. When I was in New York, obviously Broncos. New York and now North Carolina. They're 2-3. The Dolphins are 1-4. I just want to look at the play-by-play here because I'm pretty sure they were losing. They were losing 17-0 at a point. Although the Panthers came back earlier. It was 2017 Panthers early in the fourth, and then the Dolphins scored to take the lead back, and then the Panthers came back and scored. But they were down 17-0, but it's at the half. It's not. Tua, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 256 yards, sacked 3 times. The 14 rushes as a team for 19 yards. Waddle leads the way with 110 yards receiving. He has a TD. Waller has a TD. And number 28, the running back, whose name I sometimes say right and say wrong, also has a receiving TD. Half sacks from Brooks. Phillips has a sack. Chubb has a sack. Another half sack from Grant. Fitzpatrick has a pick. The kicker's 1 of 1 on the field goals and 3 of 3 on the extra points. Bryce Young, 98 yards, 2 TDs, a pick. He sacked 3 times. Dowdle has 206 yards rushing and a TD. Nice game for him at a 9-yard average on 23 carries. McMillan, 73 yards receiving to lead the way. Leggett has a receiving TD. And the other receiving TD was Evans. Bryce Young does lose a fumble. Sack from Robinson, sack from Brown, sack from Jones the second. Their kick is 2 of 2 on the field goals, 3 of 3 on the extra points. Nice win for the Panthers, 2 and 3. When you're with the Panthers, you just want to see the team improve. You know, keep improving. They're young. Keep improving. 2 and 3. Another crazy game here, back and forth battle. Tampa beats the Seahawks 38-35. They're 4-1. Seahawks are 3 and 2. This game went nuts at the end. Let me see the play-by-play real quick. I mean, Tampa was up 13-0 at a point, and then it just started going back and forth. Tampa comes back, it's up 14-13. Then after that, it's boom, 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 back and forth. I mean, they're scoring touchdowns here. The last 2 minutes pretty much have 3 TDs. No, I'm sorry. 2 TDs. What the hell? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I want to look at the scoring plays. But yeah. It's 35-28 Seattle, then it's 35-35, 38-35. They're going nuts in the fourth quarter. There was a lot of touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in the fourth. Anyway, box score. I was looking at the thing where it said, like, plays. I'm like, a TD for 9 yards, but they didn't score on it? That's weird. An interception, I mean. But it was just the drives I was looking at. Baker Mayfield, 379 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. Having a great year. He sacked once. White has 2 rushing touchdowns and 41 yards. Another guy's name I can't say. Number 2 receiver. 7 catches for 163 yards and a TD. Sterling Shepard, the old Giants receiver, has the other receiving TD. They get no sacks. David has the pick. Their kicker's 3 of 3 for the field goals. 3 and 3 on the extra points. Sam Darnold, 341, 4 TDs and a pick. He's not sacked. I don't know if that pick came late or not. I think it did, actually. I think it was a late pick. Because he was getting grief for not getting it done. I would assume he had that pick late. Walker the third, 86 yards rushing, lead the way. Charbonnet, a rushing touchdown. Number 11, Jackson Smith. I cannot say that other name. I'm not going to attempt to. Has a receiving TD as well, 132 yards, 8 catches. Barner, 2 receiving TDs. Horton has a receiving TD. Milrow loses a fumble. Half sack from Nwosu and a half sack from Bell. Their kicker misses a field goal. There you go. I don't know how long it was. That was the difference between overtime. I mean, he does hit all 5 extra points. This game was nuts. I don't feel bad for the Cardinals, but this game, Cardinals lose to the Titans 22-21. Titans 1 and 4, Cardinals 2 and 3. They were beating them pretty bad in this game too. And then the kind of carelessness and then weird plays came into play. I'll talk about that in a second. They were up 21-3 at the half. No, 21-6 at the half. And then the fourth quarter, they give up 17 points for the comeback. But they were about to take a 28-6 lead, I believe. But their running back did the classic. He's booking it, 75-yard run, flips the ball at the goal line before he gets in to the end zone. This shit has been happening for years. Deshaun Jackson did it once, I believe. Leon Lett didn't do it in the Super Bowl specifically, but he was celebrating holding the ball out, and then Don Beebe smacked it away. That didn't matter in the game. That was just a goof. That didn't play into the score. It didn't affect. This affected the game. I think Deshaun Jackson might. This happens. Players do this shit all the time. If I was running, I would make sure I was at the back of the end zone before dropping the ball, doing what the fuck I was doing. But that ends up in a touchback. And then they get a pick. When Tennessee's driving, they get a pick. The dude fumbles the pick. It goes into the end zone. Titans land on it, and it's a touchdown for the Titans. So you have a fumble on a pick that would have sealed the game probably as well. And you have the guy flipping the ball at literally the head. It was like the centimeter before the goal line. It was so close. And they lose. And then the coach punched the running, but didn't punch him, but he hit him. And people were flipping out about it, and then he apologized. And people were like, dude, he hit him in the pads. I would call that an overreaction. You don't need to hit him. You should be yelling at him. Heat of the moment, you're pissed. It didn't seem like it affected the running back too much. He didn't even flinch or anything. You just saw kind of his body kind of jiggle because he hit the pads or whatever. But whatever, you're right. You're on camera. People are going to give you shit for doing it. He apologizes, whatever. It doesn't matter. He should have just yelled at him. He probably was, and he probably was pissed. But people are like, you don't see players hitting the coach when they make a bad call. They should. Everybody should just be hitting each other when shit goes wrong. Coaches should be getting hit by players. Players should be getting hit. I vote for brawls on the sideline constantly. Make the game more entertaining. But anyway, Cam Ward, 265, no touchdowns, pick. He sacked twice. Pollard, 67 yards rushing to TD. Calvin Ridley, 131 yards receiving on 5 catches. Pollard loses a fumble. You can't be losing it. You cannot be making these mistakes. The running back, certainly shouldn't do that again. He's definitely not doing it again. The fumble on the pick is something that happens. That's a play where you can force it out. Him flipping it at the goal line is you just being a goof and just run into the end zone. I don't understand why this happens more than it should. I feel like it happens once a year. 1.5 sacks for Simmons, a sack for Joseph Day, and a half sack for Key. Their kicker's 3 for 3 with a long 51. He misses an extra point, which thankfully didn't bite them in the ass. Cardinals. Murray, 220, no TDs, no picks, sacked 3 times. Oh, the guy, it was a long of 71 when he fumbled. Demercado, I don't know how to say his last name. He was the one that he had 3 rushes for 81 yards. And they have 3 rushing touchdowns. Carter has a rushing TD, Murray has a rushing TD, and Bam Knight, great name, also has a rushing TD. He should just be running the ball all the time with that name. Harrison Jr., 98 yards receiving to lead the way. Murray loses a fumble. The guy who flipped it, that's a fumble. And Taylor Demerson loses a fumble. You lose 3 fumbles. I think that was the guy who had the pick, though. Yeah, it was. The guy who had the pick fumbled Taylor Emerson. 2 sacks from Sweat. Their kicker just hits 3 extra points. He doesn't have any field goals. Washington beats the Chargers. This is nice because Denver's in the Chargers division. They beat them up on 27-10. They beat the Chargers. Chargers 3-2, Washington 3-2. Daniels is back, 231 to TD, no picks. He sacked once. Krosky Merritt, 111 yards rushing on 14 carries and 2 TDs. Debo Samuel, he catches 96 yards and a TD. The guy, McCroskey Merritt, loses a fumble. It doesn't matter, though. They get 2 sacks from Armstrong, a sack and a half from good old Von Miller, still getting it done. I'll always love Von Miller. He's a Bronco for 9 years. Super Bowl MVP, hell of a player. Then he went to Buffalo. Was he on? No, that was Terrell Owens that ended up. Or Terrell Owens that ended. No, wait, it was Terrell. He's Terrell. Terrell Davis. Terrell Owens. He's the one that went to the Bengals. Von Miller went to the Bills, and then I think he went to Washington. Sack and a half for him. Martin, half sack. Newton, a sack. I don't know. His number is 0. San Bristol has a pick. Matt Gay, 2 field goals. He hits them both, 3 extra points. Herbert for the Chargers, 166 yards, TD and a pick. He sacked 4 times. Trey Lance comes in. Did he get hurt, or did they just take him out? 3 for 4. He's sacked once, no picks. Herbert leads the team rushing with 60 yards, but they have 155 yards rushing as a team. Hampton 44. Bunch of other guys get some yards. Keenan Allen 58 yards receiving. McConkey has the receiving TD. Quentin Johnson fumbles once. Number 92 gets the sack. Cameron Dicker has the 1 field goal, and he has an extra point. Lions beat up on the Bengals 37-24. This game was much out of reach than the score says it was. They're 4-1, Bengals 2-3. People thought the Lions were done. I think they lost their first game. They were done, but now they're 4-1. Goff 258 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. Montgomery throws a touchdown as well. Montgomery has 65 yards rushing and a TD. Gibbs has 54 yards rushing. St. Brown has 100 yards receiving and 8 catches. We're getting touchdowns from 4 different players. Laporta, Gibbs, Tesla. Is that really how you say it? Tesla. And Wright. Goff loses a fumble. Gets sacks from Barnes. Gets sacked from Hutchinson. 3 picks from Anzalone Robinson and Kirby Joseph. Their kicker, Jake Bates, has no field goal attempts, but he hits all 5 extra points. This guy, Browning, 3 TDs, 3 picks, 251 yards for the Bengals. This guy, I think, came on late here in the game. He said it was out of reach. This guy's not done well, really, in place of Burrow. They have 16 rushes for 85 yards, with Browning leading the way with 31. Jamar Chase, 110 yards receiving and 2 TDs. T. Higgins has the other receiving TD. They get a sack from Osei. 2 sacks from Henderson and a sack from Murphy. Their kicker's 1-1. Yeah, how out of reach was this game? Because I feel like they were blowing them out. They were up 28-3 going into the 4th quarter. Here's a big win. And this is at Buffalo. The Patriots beat the Bills 23-20. To go to 3-2, they're quiet 3-2. Bills are 4-1 now. May 273, no TDs, no picks, sacked 4 times. They run the ball 22 times for 71 yards. Stevenson does have 2 rushing TDs. Stephon Diggs 10 catches, 146 yards. Stevenson loses a fumble. They get half sack from Williams and Hawkins for their sack. Marcus Jones has a pick. Their kicker, his last name I can't say. He's 3 for 3, along with 52. Josh Allen, 2 TDs and a pick. He sacked once, 253 yards. He leads the team with rushing with 53 yards. Kincaid has 108 yards receiving. You get receiving touchdowns from Samuel and Coleman. Allen loses a fumble. Coleman loses a fumble. Sacks from Rousseau, Thompson, half sack from Walker. Bishop has a sack, another half sack from a guy's name I can't pronounce. Their kicker's 2 for 2. Matt Prater, good old Prater from the Broncos. And he's 2 for 2 on extra points. I'm at the end already? Oh, there was some buys this week. I'll see who's on buys in a second. The Monday night game, the Jags win 31-28 over the Chiefs. Chiefs 2-3, Jaguars 4-1. Nice start for them. They won late. Lawrence fell down on the 5 and then was able to get up and run for a TD. Mahomes 318 yards, a TD and a pick. He's not sacked. Mahomes leads the team with rushing and a TD rushing. Hunt has 2 TDs. They run for 158 yards a team. Thornton 90 yards receiving to lead the way. Kelsey has a receiving TD. They get sacks from Watson, Omenu, a half sack from Chanel, another half sack from Karlaftis. McDuffie has the pick. Their kicker just has 4 extra points. Trevor Lawrence, 221, a TD and a pick. He's sacked 3 times. Trevor Lawrence runs for 54 yards and 2 TDs. Brian Thomas Jr., 80 yards receiving. Washington has a receiving touchdown. Lawrence loses a fumble. They get no sacks. Oh, they get a touchdown and a pick. 99-yard touchdown. So that was a swing of the game early, probably, right? Lloyd with that pick for a 99-yard TD. Their kicker's Cam Little, 1-1. 4-4 in the extra points, so nice win for them. A nice little win. Let's go to the, I gotta go backwards now. What am I doing? Oh, God. It doesn't operate properly on my phone sometimes. It's just the internet, I guess. I want to look at next week's slate real quick. The buys were the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, and the Steelers were the ones on bye. Week 6, who do we got? Giants and Eagles started off on Thursday. Denver's got the Jets in an early game. Because that's in they're playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Nice. Cardinals play the Colts. Chargers at the Dolphins. Pats at the Saints. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Dallas at Carolina. Seahawks at Jags. Rams at Baltimore. Tennessee at Vegas. The Raiders. Bengals at the Packers. San Fran at Tampa. Detroit at KC for the Sunday night game. 2 Monday night games, Buffalo, Atlanta, and Chicago, Washington. Only Minnesota and Houston have buys next week, so. Another week in the book, some crazy games, some goofs, some comebacks, and all that shit. But anyway, thanks for checking this out.